Today on Can Haz Armory, underarm protectors, what they're for, why you should always wear one. So, underarm protectors, what are they? They are protective gear, hence the name, that is designed to be worn on the weapon side of the fence, or either so here if you're righty, here if you're lefty, and they are cloth, and they have a very specific purpose to protect a specific area of the body. These are not the plastic chest plates that go over here. Those are required for females or optional for males, and those are protected against impact, not penetration, which is the underarm's purpose. So, chest plates will be a different video. Underarms are there to minimize the chance of penetration of a broken blade into your armpit, where it may hit the lungs or the subclavian artery. Subclavian artery is the largest blood vessel coming out of the heart, going to the arms and the head, and it is called the subclavian because it's sub underneath the clavicle, the collarbone. Getting hit in the subclavian is a major risk because of the size of the artery, the amount of blood going through it. If the tear is big enough, you are going to be in major problems because you really can't put pressure on it from the outside to stop it because it's deep inside the shoulder. So you don't want that to happen. There have been fatalities from people getting hit up here about 15, 20 years ago. These are kind of well discussed on fencing.net, as I recall. And two of them were separate incidents where guys were practicing not wearing a underarm, broken blade, got through the armpit, and hit either lungs or subclavian. And the third one, which may be apocryphal, kid from Eastern Europe at a junior event, didn't like the fact that the sleeve bunched up, felt uncomfortable, cut the sleeve off, refs missed it on the inspection, broken blade, got through his jacket and tagged him, and he died. So the lesson here is always wear the underarm, even if you're just giving lessons. When I was giving lessons, even at first read to a 5-year-old who was more likely to smack me in the knee than stab me in the chest, I always wore it, because it's the right thing to do. For me personally, it's my life. It was a consistent thing I always did, and it didn't feel right if I didn't have it on. But if you're going to be swapping steel with someone who's like a club mate who's comparable to you, wear it. You're going to fence in club far more often in practice than you ever will at a major event. Let's say you go to a NAC, and it's a huge field. You have a pool of 7. There's 6 bouts. Let's say you have your first DE and you make DEs around 256 and you win. Good for you. That's also 8 DE bouts because you have the 256, the 128, the 64, the 32, the 16, the 8, the 4, and the finals. It's a lot of fencing. You will still put more bout time at club if you're a heavy competitor at that level. Especially if you're going for the 256 and you're winning, you're practicing a lot. You'll be winning more bouts at club than you ever will in a competition. So the odds are greater you'll be injured in club one. And clubs are some people kind of sometimes don't wear all the safety gear unless they're in the habit of doing it or the club enforces it. So make sure you wear all the safety gear. Okay. So let's talk about the designs. There are only a couple designs you really see. You know, there's the little half jacket one, and there's a full t-shirt that I use. Let's look at them right now. Okay, let's look at a couple different protectors here. We have first this non-FI from Blue Gauntlet. And underarms tend to only have a couple different designs. You have the sleeve here on the weapon side, the neck area here. They've got a Velcro strap, goes around the waist here, and actually waist, upper chest. There is no neck strap on this one. And you can see it's got 3 panels, the front panel here, the back panel here, and then these side panels, which run right in here. This is the armpit right here. The seam of the jacket runs right down here. There is no seam in the armpit, and the seams are on the side. It's actually fairly thick seams, so that protects the subclavian artery. Then we have this FIE one from Newer Playthings. Slightly different design in that the armpit panel is much wider. It's a design choice we made, and it has the Velcro around the bottom for the waist. We also have one around the neck. So, and this is text anywhere onto it. The basic design is the same in terms of the pattern. The big difference being the spacing of the how wide the side panel is. But you can also have a double-sided one. This one I had made for me by Noor years ago, non-FI material. And this does meet the rules. Again, we have the relatively wide side panels, no seam in the pit. And I like this because in case I turned a bit, I don't want to get smacked in the side and have no cushioning. I can also just throw on like a t-shirt real quick. I don't need the Velcro straps chafing the neck or coming loose, being able to pull off. I can throw this on off real quick. That's just so I know where the back is. I actually wanted one of these made in the FIE material, but the neck going to be too tight. So when I competed at Nationals last year, I was all FIE except for this, but it still passed, and that's perfectly fine. Somebody, I forget if it was Ullman, All-Star, or Leon Paul, used to make, don't know if they still do, an FIE one with a zipper down the front. I didn't go for that because although it'd be easier to put on, I didn't want to be hitting the zipper and driving it to my chest. So I didn't get that one. This has actually worked fine for me for many, many years. But those are the designs of the underarm protectors. So whenever you fence, it doesn't matter if it's this kind or that kind or that kind, always wear the underarm. Happy armoring.